Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Doug Lesmerises is with us. He is the co-host of the Bill and Doug Show, I think the finest college football show available at Substack. And he has a double duty this weekend. He's got to tell us about the Friday football forecast for this weekend. And since we're not broadcasting live next Friday, he has to kind of look ahead a little bit at that game that looms out there larger than an iceberg. So, Doug, take it away.
Yeah, so Hugh, it's kind of weird in college football this week because, as you noted, we have great rivalry week next week for Thanksgiving. This week, the top 10 teams in the college football playoff rankings, 3 of those 10 are off. 5 of those 10 are favored by 30 points or more in their games. Including Ohio State versus Rutgers. This is blowout city this weekend. So there's not a lot of great games. There's 2 to really keep your eye on. One is number 7 Oregon versus number 15 USC. That's at Oregon. The other is number 8 Oklahoma and number 21 Missouri. Now, Oregon and Oklahoma both in playoff spots right now, but if they lose before the end of the regular season, they might be knocked out. USC, if with the win over Oregon, would have a chance to maybe squeeze into one of those playoff spots. Probably would. So those are the 2 games where you really have some stakes. Meanwhile, Ohio State and Texas A&M and Alabama and Notre Dame and Georgia, they're just trying to see if they're going to win by 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. So it is kind of a weird weekend this weekend, Hugh. And that, I mean, You want me to talk Ohio State, Michigan? I can talk Ohio State, Michigan 365 days a year.
How hard is it not to talk about Ohio State, Michigan with only 10 days to go to get the monkey off the back of the state of Ohio?
Yeah, I mean, it's been looming over everything, Hugh, because I've said this a lot about Ohio State this year. This is the defending national champion. This is the undefeated #1 team in the country. In that aspect, Hugh, they're on top of the sport. But Ohio State has also lost 4 straight games to its heated and hated rival, the Michigan Wolverines. So I cannot think of another team in modern North American sports history who simultaneously was that far up in one regard and that far down in another regard. So this balance, Hugh, it's really hard to get your head wrapped around it. Michigan plays Maryland this week. Michigan has some injuries. Ohio State plays Rutgers. Their 2 best receivers for Ohio State are injured. The main thing for Ohio State, Michigan this weekend is to get as healthy as possible for next weekend.
Hey, question. Did you watch the tape? Did Julian Sand take a late hit on the program, on the play that dinged him up and he was into the 10? I thought it was a late hit.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's hard anymore, Hugh, that we protect the quarterback so much that it's like they feels like they're calling everything. If you breathe on a quarterback, you're getting a 15-yard penalty. But yeah, maybe. But so he was limping around a little bit with the ankle last week, but Ryan Day asked about him this week, said he's fine, said he's been practicing. He'll be good to go. Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, they're 2 great receivers. Probably won't go against Rutgers, and they'll hope they're healthy for Michigan. And Michigan's best running back is out for the year. Their second best running back, Jordan Marshall, who has 4 straight 100-yard games. He hurt his shoulder last week. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits this week to make sure they have him for the Buckeyes.
Is there any other college team in America, Doug, that is reliant on their skill players, say 3 of them, saying Tate and Smith, as Ohio State is on their 3 skill players?
You know, maybe Indiana at number 2 would come close. You know, that Fernando Mendoza, their quarterback, is certainly one of the Heisman front runners. You saw Omar Cooper Jr. is the receiver for Indiana who made that ridiculous catch in the back of the end zone to win the Penn State game. But Elijah Surratt, who's their leading receiver, has been hurt for the last couple games, and they've been okay. Probably not. You know, probably not since the Washington team that lost to Michigan in the national title game a couple years ago that had Michael Penix and Roma Dunze and a great passing game. Nobody throws it quite like Ohio State, and they are defined by that. That's what they need to do in the Michigan game, is throw the ball around, which is why they need to get those 2 superstar receivers healthy and back on the field.
And do we think that there is a trade-off between Smith and Sayin in the Heisman voting? I mean, is that going to split the vote? I don't know how it works. I do not know how it works.
Yeah. It's hard because when you vote for the Heisman, I've been a Heisman voter for about a decade, very lucky to be one of those voters. You vote for three. So you just rank 1, 2, 3. The winner gets, your number one person gets 5 points. The next gets 3 points. The next gets 1 point. They tally it up. They invite 4 people to New York as the Heisman finalists. We've seen multiple players from the same team go to New York. It is possible. I think it's hard to win that way. And with Jeremiah Smith, he did play last week, but he was limited. He didn't play in the second half. He was really creaky walking off the field. Looked like there was something maybe with the back or a hamstring. If he doesn't play this week, I think it maybe swings it toward Julian Sand as that candidate. It's just really difficult, but it's kind of still open. I think it's going to come down to 2 weeks from now, championship weekend. The one guy to watch in the Heisman conversation, Hugh, and we've talked about this team a little bit this year. I know you like when we bring them up. Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is playing Pitt this week in a game. It's only a 3-point game. Georgia Tech, if they win, they're on track to make the ACC championship game. Let me tell you about their quarterback, Haynes King. Kind of single-handedly carrying them lately. The last 2 weeks, Hugh, Haynes King has accounted for 935 yards of offense in 2 games. That's throwing and running. So if Georgia Tech wins the ACC, maybe he scoots in there to the Heisman conversation. But I still think it's probably down to Julian Sand and Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback.
I love the name, though, King. Quick exit. Yeah. Do we have an NFL game that we care about greatly?
Yeah. So the Indianapolis Colts have had an amazing season. They're 8-2. We wind up talking about the Chiefs a lot, Hugh. They lost last week to Denver. Indianapolis at Kansas City this week. Kansas City is 5-5. Indianapolis is 8-2. Kansas City is favored at home by about a field goal. So this is a real test. The standard in the AFC and the new best team this year in the AFC, Colts versus Chiefs, is a big one.
Is there anything on Thanksgiving that we can watch?
There's a bunch of NFL games. Like college doesn't go there really anymore. College is more. There's gonna be a bunch on Friday, Black Friday after Thanksgiving. We'll get the 3 games on Thanksgiving for the NFL, so you'll have plenty of football to watch while you're eating your bird.
Have a great Thanksgiving, Doug. We'll talk to you on Monday. Don't go anywhere, America. I'll be right back with Tarzan and Joe on the Hugh Hewitt Show.
The Hugh Hewitt Show is now available on TV. Go to SalemNewsChannel.com or download the app. You can also watch on Roku and Fire Stick. Salem News Channel, the antidote to the mainstream media.